Oh, yes, it's me here again, taking over from DC, who's probably now on holidays permanently, I hope. And no, that's not true. We want him back as soon as possible. This is a little bit of extra for you guys because a lot of little things have happened in the last couple of days since the race in Spa. So, the biggest news of the last couple of days surely must be Carlos Sainz, the race winning Spaniard. I mean, he's been fantastic at Ferrari, and he will be joining Albon next year in Williams. And this is very strong statement by Williams to have secured his services for sure. That's a major coup. But I'm sure it's not without some of the little issues. And I think that Carlos would have preferred to have been with the likes of McLaren or a Red Bull or wherever, and certainly Mercedes. I can absolutely be for sure, knowing Carlos's dad, that there would be some form of release clauses, or there'll be some sort of way that Carlos could get out if something really massive came in front of him. But, at this moment in time, that's not going to happen. And we have to see how the season unfolds next year. But for now, it gives me encouragement because I love drivers being up against each other. And I'm a huge fan of Alex Albon. And so what do I think? I think they are brilliantly paired. But the advantage must be with Carlos Sainz, 3 times Grand Prix winner for Ferrari, with the experience of Ferrari and other activities. The two of them, they're a great looking team. They probably win the award for the best looking drivers without any question. But can they translate that into race victories or race successes or podiums? I think next year that if Williams can make a podium, that would be such a joy. Because in my day, when I was racing, and racing not just as a driver, but racing particularly as a team, Williams were an unbelievable outfit. They were mind-blowing. And particularly when Patrick Head was there with Frank, and we must never forget Adrian Newey. He was, in my opinion, the brainchild with how that car's unfolded. And we know the success they had and the great drivers. So, would we like to see Williams getting back to somewhere near where they were? Well, that would be such a joy for so many people, particularly older people like me who've been around for a very long time. Some of the new people kind of don't really remember how great Williams were, or indeed how great McLaren were. So maybe there's a new horizon. Maybe there's something in the future that we can all cherish, embrace, and let's see how this unfolds. Moving on to the next part, which was a surprise, because during the weekend, it was announced that they were going to spend some time studying and looking at the situation with Checo and how he was going to improve his performance. And then, as we've said at the show, the performance at Spa was poor. To start in the front row and wind up where he wound up, either his car was set up for the wet or wet and dry on the Saturday. It certainly wasn't quick enough for him or, in fact, the team on the Sunday. Nevertheless, he managed to salvage a couple of points, but in my opinion, it was a lackluster performance. And this was justified in many respects by Helmut Marko, who came out and said various things, which gave the impression that there would be long discussions as to what could or may not happen within that team for the second half of the season. What's important to Red Bull, more than anything, is to win the Constructors' title. And with, the likes of Mercedes and McLaren chopping away absolutely at their lead, they need to be really careful. So, well done, Checo, for getting it over the line. But I would urge you that if you don't take advantage of this support that they've given you, I fear for your future contracts. But in the meantime, we're all behind you, brother, and we want to see what you can do. FFS listeners, have a great few days, and we'll be back as soon as possible.